everyone. Welcome back to my studio on a Saturday. So welcome to a Saturday edition of our live stream. Really happy to be able to come to you on a weekend. It's a really nice day here in Portland, a little warm, a little overcast today, but I'm absolutely positive that the sun is going to come out a little bit later. So we have a really full program today. I want to share a couple things that I've had questions about. We have a new member of our team that I'm going to share with you. And I have a big special announcement, which I'm absolutely over the moon excited to be able to share. And then we have the demo today, which is also, I love what I'm going to paint. So I loved what I picked. So great. So the first things first, I want to introduce to you Luther. Luther came to me from my neighbor who watches the videos, watches the live stream. So some of you might know that we have a studio mascot, a little green duck. I know this is silly, but we're getting a little collection of these little guys that keep me company here in the studio. So Carrie, thank you for Luther. He's welcome. He's going to join the gang. It's really fun, so cute. Need to have some levity these days, right? We need to have something fun like that. I have been doing some really interesting tabletop demos for my Facebook groups, the public safe Facebook group, but also mostly for my monthly pastel painting members and my sketchbook watercolor sketching workshop. And these tabletop demos are fun because they're really impromptu. They're Facebook Live demos. They're fun because I do them on basically my kitchen table. Well, it's a little glorified because it takes a little bit of effort to set up. But I like them because they're a little bit more intimate and, again, impromptu. So I've been really enjoying doing those. It's really fun to just, hey, I want to paint and I'm going to share it. I love that about them. I've been getting a lot of great comments about it because people can, when I'm doing a pastel demo, they can see my box and they can see exactly how I'm choosing the pastels and going directly to the paper surface. So a little bit different than this. So you could watch out for those on the public Facebook group. I don't do those quite as often there because I gotta mediate my time. But I wanted to share today the boxes that I'm using and a little bit about those before I get into my other announcements in the demo. So I have a couple of boxes, and so when I travel for painting or doing live workshops, I usually bring this box with me. This is the backpack-sized Heelman box, and you can see it's just a little bit heavy. I used to travel with the large one. I actually had a little incident having to carry the larger one, so I switched to the little bit smaller one. So let me just share the inside of this box with you. Let me take this off. I do love this box. I bring this with me. I do carry this on when I travel. Of course, not doing that very much. I'm not doing that at all right now, but I do carry it on. I never check it on an airplane. Let me see if I can show it to you. So I don't get any breakage with this box, and you can see, I'm going to put it up on my, I'm going to need to probably put it on the palette cam, I think. Can you add the palette cam? And you can see, you guys. Good? Okay. It's organized just like the my big studio tray. And that's super intentional so that whether I am painting plein air, whether I'm teaching a live workshop, it's all the same. my motor memory, everything about it is really exactly the same. So that's really a good thing. Now, you can see also in this smaller box, I still have all the brands mixed together. So I just get smaller pieces when I'm adding pastels to the travel box. Now, I'm going to go to this. This is what I've been using. This one is what I've been using for the tabletop demo. So it's even smaller. This is the half, this is, yeah, I think it's called the half sketch. And it's nice and light. Now, when I went to Italy last time I took this one with me. This is what I took, and this is what I taught with, because I didn't want to be trucking all around with that heavier one. So this one's pretty sweet. Same deal. And you can see I don't have it quite as full, but I have it pretty much set up just like my other boxes, right? So I find that this is just plenty for me, and I don't really feel like I'm missing too much. Now, a couple of differences about this one. You can see right here in the neutral section, I have a lot of Giroux, and I have a lot of new pastels sprinkled in here as well. So because they're a little bit smaller and thinner, so it's easier for me to get a few more in here. So this works out really well. So when I'm doing those tabletop demonstrations, a couple people have had questions about them. And the questions are, oh, well, I can't see the pieces well, don't show the box. Well, I want to show the box because one thing that's really cool about the tabletop demos, I have the box and the artwork right there, and you can actually directly see me grabbing from the box right onto the small image. And so you're really getting to see kind of almost the way I'm thinking about how I'm reaching in a little bit different way than our palette cam. Now the palette cam's great, don't get me wrong, I love it, but the tabletop's just a little bit different vibe, a little bit intimate. So I'm kind of liking those, and that will be a feature of the monthly for sure that you'll be getting lots more of. Try to set it up anytime I just feel moved to get in there and do a little painting. Okay, all right.
And hey Marla, you're using Pastelmat today, right?
Yes, I'm using Pastelmat today. So if you're following along today, I'm using the dark blue Pastelmat right here, all ready, set to go. But before I do that, before I start my demo, I have my big exciting, and it's exciting to me. I hope it's exciting to you. I'm sure it will be. If pastels are in your life, I think it will be exciting for you. We have just released year 2 of monthly painting lessons online. You can access those lessons right now. So there's year 1 and year 2 all available to you right now. So I can't believe it. It's really amazing. If you're not a member, go to paintinglessonswithmarla.com and you can see all about him. But so you guys that are members can start accessing it right away if you're a subscriber. If you pay yearly, you get access to all of it. Year 1 and 2 right away. You don't have to wait, instantly, right now. If you're monthly, you can start getting access to a session from year 1 and a session from year 2 each month. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to work. Okay, I know it's a lot of stuff there, tons, and we've been working so hard on it, and I'm super, super proud of it. There's over 140 videos in these years. So, and every single session comes with a study guide that's pretty in-depth. I think they're beautiful. And plus, it's a membership. When you join, there's an active Facebook group for you to participate in. And as I said, I'm doing special private live streams like this, really in-depth. They're like 2 hours, a really in-depth lesson for those groups. And people will be able, members will be able to access those live streams over and over again. I'm also adding a new feature, which I'm really happy about, that I call Marla's Monthly Mileage Training, where you can really dig in and level up your painting skills and stay engaged. I designed these lessons to help you get to the easel on a super consistent basis. I think they're better than a one-off workshop because you have to stay at it. I think if there's one thing, one primary means of getting better and improving your painting skills, it is intentional, studied mileage. I'm going to tell you a little story, a little anecdote, I guess, about a student that I had many years ago in a live workshop. And she came to the workshop with boxes and boxes and boxes of pastels. She opened them all up, and she was really sweet. She brought more pastels to that workshop than I have here for sure, or in all my boxes and everything put together. But those pastels were pristine. She didn't use them. And she said to me, Marla, I don't know what it is, but I love the pastels. It's my heart's desire to use them and use them well, but I don't get to them. I just buy more and more and more. I don't want that stuff to happen to you. I want you to paint. I want you to improve. I want it to be part of your creative process and part of your life. And I designed these sessions, these lessons, to help you to get to that goal and really take things up a notch. All right? So I'm really invested in it. And so I think that you're going to want to check it out. So now I want to say a couple things about it. It's a membership, so just like a membership to a gym, you get access to this membership only as long as you're paying your membership fees, as you have an active membership. Okay, yeah. So just like a gym, when you stop paying your fees, you don't get to keep the gym equipment. So unlike my workshops, like Kitty and Friends and Light and Shadow, that you pay for once and then you get to keep forever, this is different. And it's different primarily because it really directly involves my time. So I'm really engaged in this, and I'm really connected to it, and we're adding new features to it all the time. And it's a living, breathing thing. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a membership. So members are part of a club that's special. And I really view the monthly lessons, it's my flagship product, you guys. I give it really special attention. I built all the rest of the website and the lessons around the monthly. So I think year content 1 is amazing, it's great, but year 2, it's way more amazing, you guys. We just plain and simple just have gotten so much better at it. We just are, and I'm super proud of it. And we're working on year 3 right now. And so as long as you're an active member, before you know it, you're going to have access to year 3. So, okay, check it out. Again, you could probably tell I'm a little excited about it. I don't think this product's going to go on sale because I'm trying to give it to you at the best price I possibly can. Because again, my time is connected to it in a way different way than the one-time workshops are. So I think it's, again, a really good value because I think it is better than a one-time workshop. A lot of those workshops are way more expensive than it is, and you're getting a lot for it. Okay, and then the last thing about that, if you are currently a member and a subscriber and you have any questions about what's going on with it, there's going to be a video in the Facebook group that explains a lot of details about it. And also, if you have any technical questions, if you're new to it and you're not currently a member or subscriber, you can contact support@paintinglessonswithmarla.com if you have any kind of questions that aren't answered on the website. The website has a it has a great Q&A, frequently asked questions on it. But if you have any questions, you can always contact support about pricing, technical stuff, any of that kind of stuff. I have a super great team, so they're super kind and special and nice, so be nice. Okay. All right. That's it. That's the whole thing. So now I can get into my demo for today. Thank goodness. I'm always more comfortable when I'm painting. A couple things about today's image that I want to talk about is I think it's incredibly beautiful. I picked something today that I think is going to feel easeful and that I feel kind of comfortable with. So I like it a lot. It's the Canadian Rockies. I went on a trip there with Fall Color Week, Streamline Publishing, and painted with a whole bunch of people. It was super cold and crisp. And you can tell from this photo that it's a cold, crisp day. The effect of aerial perspective is hardly there at all, right? It's so clear. And so I'm going to have to decide as I'm painting what I want to do about that. I'm usually making that effect more pronounced in a painting to add more depth of field to a piece. So I have to decide whether I want to do that today or not, or whether I want to go with that like really crisp look. The other thing about the composition, it's really in half, right? It's kind of half sky and half earth. And one of the things I like to do compositionally is decide ahead of time. Is my painting about the earth or is it about the sky? And then I have a better chance of dividing the space unequally, and I want that. Also, this particular reference photo is also not only divided from earth and sky, but the trees and the field kind of divide it in half that way, horizontally. So it's both vertically and horizontally kind of divided right in half. And so I want to deal with that for sure. So make some decisions. And then the other thing I really love, so I have a printout here. And of course, I get a lot of questions about, are you going to paint from the print, which has it's a lot duller, or your iPad? The iPad's got a lot more luminosity and intensity of color. I kind of go back and forth, but you guys probably know that I kind of look at what's in my hand quite a lot. But the iPad does bring out the intensity of colors and the details really nice. So I'm going to want to look at it as well. So there's that. I think this is just a gorgeous spot, gorgeous photo. What else? Oh, it's very complementary. It's got a very complementary scheme. Bright blue sky and the orange foliage. So that's really attractive about it too. So there's that. Okay. So let's get going. Let me put this, I don't want to put that in the way of the palette cam. All right. Now I need to I'm probably going to need to take a little break at some point today. I'm super tired. We were doing plein air painting yesterday and filming, so it was a busy week. So All right, so Pastelmat, I've got my little floating box here. It helps me, a little area here on the side for mark making and practicing. All right, so what are we going to do here with this composition? I do think I'm going to let these trees drift, the main tree drift into past the center line. So here's my center line. If I divide it like so. So I'm going to let these trees drift over here. I'm also going to give them just a little more sweeping gesture. And I like to do that. And maybe bring this line down a little bit, and then my hillsides are more in here. I don't think that's going to hurt. I think it's still going to be really effective. And so I'll let these kind of sweep, these two main, and then I'll let this one be a little bit straighter, because these only get a little gesture in relation to something that's straighter. Of course, I'm going to have my pines over here, which are a little more vertical. I want to make sure that I get a nice variety of I don't want to come along here and have these pines evenly spaced like this, so got to make sure I kind of cluster these together a little bit. And then there's this vegetation that's kind of red. I can't really see it very well in this photo, but if I look over here at my iPad, I see it. And then there's this really neat patch of dirt. Really neat patch of dirt. That's funny, isn't it? It is, though. It makes it beautiful. It makes a sort of pathway right there. And there's another sort of idea of that here. There's this guy that's casting a shadow. And back here, there's a cast shadow behind these trees, which does become important because this cast shadow back here is silhouetting this. If that isn't there, I don't think it would be as interesting. There's some dirt patches here. There's 1, 2, 3. They feel kind of even. I don't think I'm going to put them even like that. I want one to be maybe a little bit bigger. It's also sort of, see, as I'm doing it, I see that these patches, 1, 2, 3, not only they're evenly spaced, they're sort of close to this edge. I think I'm going to mix that up. Okay.
And just to clarify for some people, this type of Pastelmat is gray that leans a little blue, correct?
Yes, it's probably looking very gray on camera, but it is technically they call it dark blue. Yeah, that's confusing. It's confusing to me too. Okay, so I'm going to let this sky be, I think I'm going to let it be blue today. Kind of getting into those blue skies. This tree shape behind here, it's like a weird shape, right? It's not, it's like this edge right here is really straight. I don't really want that. I want it to be a little more interesting than that, so I'll play with that a little bit. But that's kind of it.
really quick, Marla, it looks like Julie Newhouse dropped $9.99 in the chat. To take a look.
Oh, that's nice.
Very sweet,
Thank
Julie.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's really
Yep,
awesome.
we enabled Super Chat so you can, in fact, make a little contribution to make sure that some of my time gets diverted to these. Okay. All
And
right.
also, thank you to everybody who answers other students' questions in the chat.
Yes,
Very
thank you
helpful.
very, very much. It's very helpful. Those people that are loyal followers answer a lot of the questions in the chat. It's really helpful. We appreciate it. Kevin appreciates it.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
lot of questions that for beginners, like
Yeah.
what surface is Pastelmat?
Yeah.
What pencil are you using? Do you use blue spruce to
Yeah.
sketch?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
appreciate that people answer those questions.
Yes, we really do. Okie doke. Let's get some color on here. Let's get some color on this puppy. Ooh, that's so pretty. Just how that complementary color, it's, even though this is kind of gray, it is leaning blue. And I put it down there and it already kind of pops off of there. It's really, really nice. So now I'm going to roll this stick around. See how I'm rolling it around? I'm finding that the surface edge that's going to make the kind of mark that I want. And I want something really soft and a light touch, especially to begin with, because I want a really light wash for my first pass at this color. I'm going to let this drift over here. See, I don't want that funny straight line. I'm letting some color. So this is a little more intense than I see in the photo, and I'm doing that intentionally because I know that it's, for me personally, it's easier for me to settle color down than it is for me to grab, to pump it up later. So I would rather start out a little brighter than the other way around. So there, I'm going to get a little something in for this vegetation. And here, it's not super green, but it's got a little bit of a green cast. Now right here there's some red. It's really pretty red. And I'm going to go ahead and get that in as well. It's nice. Whew, that's really nice. And as I see, I can use that same red as it kind of infuse the shadow side of some of this with that. That's good. Okay, so I want to get some of that color in for the pine. Nice. I love this kind of scene. It's so interesting. All right, there's that dark stand of trees back there that's kind of silhouetting this guy. Now I'm kind of getting close to the halfway mark. I think it's going to be okay. It's a little halfy, but it's all right.
Yeah, and thank you again to Roberta, Joanne, and Sharon for the super chat. It's great.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yep. It's really nice. Yeah, super chat. That's something we added. It's really good thing. Okay. It's a little tricky to figure out, I think, because I think you have to go through some steps before you can actually do it. Okay, so, oh, I don't want to do that yet. There's some stuff that's super fun to do that I don't want to do yet because I want to save. There's some things to save for later. I like to do that. I'm not doing it to trick you guys. I'm doing it because it's fun for me. There are things about a painting. I know, oh, when I do that, that'll really pull it together. All right. So this, I'm going to try to get some color in for this dirt, and then I'll put something in for some snow in this cast shadow back here, and put some color notes up here for the sky, just so I can get a sense of how it's all going to pull together. That's kind of not that interesting. Let's see. That's a little, let's see, is that too light? I think that's maybe a bit too light. How about something like this? This is a terry. So this dirt, this little patches of dirt, I want to design those. And I'm not liking that so much either. I want something a little grayer. Maybe more like that. Yeah, this is good. I want these shapes to be really kind of organic, even though and maybe even a little more soft edged than they are, because, you know, they are kind of hard edged, and I think that can be a little bit of a bugaboo. Now here's these up here that I am concerned about these. I don't want them to be the same as in the photo. Okay, I think that's probably better. Then over here there's some more of that dirt, kind of a dirt, almost like a dirt road over here. I think it is a dirt road. Add a little bit of this color. So this is a different kind of, I guess I would call it gray. It's a kind of gray. It's got a little purple in it. So now within this dirt, I've got a couple different colors. So I'm always looking for that. I want, you know, luminosity in any value mass within any shape. So I'm going to try to infuse my shapes with more than one. I don't want just flat color, right? I don't want it to be like a coloring book. So I'm going to look for more than one color to state something. You know, it might be within a dark. I might have some blue spruce, but in here I'm going to want something else in here. So I'm going to pull in some of this kind of eggplant color so that my darks aren't flat. I don't want any of my colors to be flat. So I get that kind of broken color, kind of flat, fractured color is another way of saying it. So what the Impressionists were doing, they were letting color optically mix. Okay. It's a little dark under this tree. I like it. It's a good start. Now, you might be saying, "Oh, really?" Every painting has that stage, but I'm already at that stage where I can kind of see, all right, I can kind of see my way. And I find with students a lot of times kind of give up. They get frustrated because you can't quite see it. And a lot of times I'll walk up to somebody or see somebody's piece and go, well, that's a really good start. And just, you got to keep going. Sometimes it's a matter of, well, I don't know how to keep going. And that's where you need a little help if you're not really experienced. But a lot of times it's, and then a lot of what my teaching is, okay, time to stop. Knowing when to stop. And sometimes, it's hard. So this is the cast shadow back here behind this guy. I think it's such a pretty part of an important part of the scene. There's a little bit of that in there. Yeah.
I'm surprised that no one's mentioned your extra bracelet today.
Oh yeah, I have an extra bracelet on today. It's in celebration of the monthly being launched. Just added sparkles. Also, I'm tired today, and I remember from back in my art school days, we put in such long hours, just cramming, just not almost all-nighters. I wasn't an all-nighter kind of gal, but a lot of people were. And the thing that I did was on a day like that, the next day I would dress up and put on some makeup and try to to pump myself up. So that's what I'm doing a little bit today. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to start getting that snow in, and that's going to be fun. Super fun, and I don't want to go for white. I'm going to look at the iPad. I got to save something that's really, really light, because I'm going to want some little sparkly highlights on there. So do I want to have it lean to pink, a little warm? I could head to yellow. A little yellow. I'm going to try a couple things. Let me just see. I'm not sure. I'm just going to try. Maybe. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of these. I have different colored ones. I like the turquoise one the best. I usually wear that. All right. How about this? I kind of like, this is kind of got a little pink cast to it. I was thinking that might be good. Okay, so I'm going to head to that. Now, I don't want these shapes to be too broken up, right? So I'm going to start out by just massing this in kind of light. That's good. So I can kind of see where I'm at with it.
The question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you keep your whitest whites? In the neutrals or
at
the end of, say, like the pinks or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where do I keep I keep my whitest whites over here in the neutrals, the very whitest whites. These down here, like this one, it doesn't look like it because it's a little dirty, but this is probably the stick that is the whitest thing in my box. And then there's a few things I'm missing, like this I don't have things that are quite light enough. And then over here, these are pretty close. And then these are really light, super, super light yellows. I don't think that there isn't a white over here. So white is really has no color identity. So it is technically a neutral.
And when you print out your reference photo, you just print on cheap copy paper.
Oh yeah, yeah, cheap copy paper. I do not, get into, like trying to get a super great photo. And because I have the iPad, it's really more of a keeping me company kind of thing. It's not, and sometimes I just want to hold it. I'm not even looking at it anymore, but or I'm just referencing it for a particular detail, or how do I figure out how to make marks that emulate a certain kind of something in the landscape. So I want to keep, you could get really involved over here. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it pretty simple.
And this demo will probably be available on Daily Paintworks?
Yes, I will put this for sale on Daily Paintworks when I'm done. Well, it'll take me a little while. I usually, after these, I usually go for a little walk, and then I'll get it up there. Little suggestion of that bank back there. Now this is the fun part. Up here is this light coming down. Now I've got this a little hot right now, but meaning I want to hit it back a little bit. Now this white is really like screaming at me. It's so bright. It looks so bright. It's because I don't have any sky in. Once I get the sky in, I'll be able to tell. I'll have a better idea of whether this is fitting okay.
We have a funny question.
Yeah.
This person writes, if we donate enough, will you tell us what music you paint to?
Who's that?
Rose Horse.
No. That is a funny question.
And your iPad stand, you bought it on Amazon, is that correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
There's all kinds on the market.
Yeah.
Experiment a little bit.
I'm not sure, I'm always playing. I'm not sure it's the greatest thing on earth. It works. Okay. All right. It's looking a little patchy here, but I'm going to leave it because I need to. I'm going to resolve that. I think I might need to fix that, but I think it's fine for now. So now I'm going to move on, and that's one thing I also know that students have a tendency to do. I'm going to take a little break here. Oh, actually, I'll just put a little color note for the sky and the mountains, and then I'll take a little break as I kind of start doing some more definition. Boy, what was I going to say?
You're going to put a color note on there?
No, but I was going to say something before that. I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, and also, at the end of the demo, we will put a mat on this.
Yes, at the end of the demo, we'll put a mat on it for sure, yeah. Oh boy, I ended up with this being right kind of in the center. I knew that was going to happen. It's okay. It's still really lovely. Mountains, mountain shapes. The best laid plans sometimes. Okay, so sky. So at the sky here up, I want a nice gradation, even though it's not very pronounced. It's pretty dark right here at the horizon. It's more pronounced on my printout than it is on the iPad. So I will come in here with a really light yellow and just see where I'm at. And then I'm going to mix that with something kind of aqua. And then as I get up here, I want to darken that even more so that I can get a nice bright blue sky. That one's not bright enough. I'm thinking that. I might even come in with something like that a little bit just to get that pop. So that's what I'm thinking. And then knit all of that around the, I think that'll work. Okay. All right. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, let's take a little, I'm going to take just a couple minutes, you guys. Just, it's one of those, oh, it looks good. I can see it from a distance. That looks better. Yeah, it's not too bad. Good. Yeah, I think it'll come together really nice. Yeah, we were out yesterday. It was hot. Yesterday and the day before, it was super hot, and we were plein air painting and filming, and we had a lot of gear out there to film and so it was a little challenging. So my energy is a little waning today. But I just wanted, again, to celebrate with you guys the year 2 of monthly. If you're just coming onto the stream right now, and if you're a monthly subscriber, you might have noticed that you have access to year 2 content already. So if you are a subscriber member of monthly pastel painting lessons online, you can see all of it right now. If you're a yearly member, then it's all there right now, so that's really cool. And if you're monthly, then you're going to be getting a session from year 1 and a session from year 2 starting now, and before the end of the year you'll have access to all of it. So yeah, it's really within 12 months. It's pretty rich. We did birds and master's focus and seascapes and gardens and lots of subject matter, foundation skills of painting mixed in. We've really stepped up our game with features on the membership. So not only the lessons, the study guides, you're going to get access to monthly live streams, which you'll also be able to access as many times as you want, which is going to be amazing. We're going to really do in-depth live streams, a lot more than this, a lot more teaching, a lot more of a structured lesson, which I think is going to be great. The membership is also like a real living, breathing thing. You have access to a Facebook group, which is really active, or where you'll be doing the same sessions as other students. So in my opinion, it's better than a one-off workshop that you might go to, and less expensive than lots of those. So I think that it's a really good deal if you're if pastels are in your life and you want to get better at it and you want to stay engaged at your easel. I think it's a really good deal. So
yeah, and it was a massive project for us.
Oh, it was massive.
We worked on it for the better part of a year.
Oh yeah, and we're starting year 3 content right now. So it's, pretty, I think, organized. It has an arc. Some of the sessions or months, depending on how you approach it, are a little more involved, some a little more relaxed and playful. And I planned it that way so that, you can get really intense and then you can ease off and get more intense again. So I think it's really good. Okay, let me get a sip of water. I have a water around here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I got it. Great. A sip of water. All right.
Going back to the
Very good. All right.
painting?
Yep, let's do it. I like it. It's so, I love that complementary scheme going on. That's pretty neat. Alrighty. Sometimes when I'm painting, right now I have this sense of this that I like it. And I don't want to, there's parts of it that I don't want to do yet because, like I said before, I know they're going to be fun. And once I do them, I'm done, right? Isn't that silly? What a joy to be an artist right now, especially. It's such a place of solace for me. And the watercolor sketching group, that's amazing too. The people doing that, so cool to see what everybody's doing. Such creative energy.
Yeah, and on our back burner, we do have a acrylic workshop.
Yes, we do have.
Coming up.
It's in the stack. It's in the stack. I've decided I was a little resistant to it just because, it feels a little, but it feels right because I've painted acrylics since back in my illustration days. That was what we used, and it feels right. All right, I'm just playing with this little section right here because it's fun. I'm glad I picked something this week that feels really fun and doesn't feel super hard to me. Sometimes I pick for the stream something that feels like, oh, I know that's not going to come so easy. They're going to watch me struggle a little bit. And I do that intentionally as an instructor. I think it doesn't make sense for me to show you every time, like, oh, I can, that feels comfortable and easeful for me to do. I don't think that's always the way to be as an instructor. Okay, that feels good. I'm going to come in here with these and get some of just so I can get a sense of some lights on these trees, just for the value. That's good.
And we don't have an exact release date for Watercolor 2, but it's coming up.
Yeah, we don't, but it's almost basically done.
Almost done, yep.
Yeah, but we have little finishing touches, and we got to get it all ready and on the website. But it's really nice.
Yeah, Watercolor 2, Garden Journaling.
Garden Journaling. Sweet. It's sweet and perfect for the summer, and so it'll be out, pretty soon. We have a small team, so we're going to do one thing at a time. Yeah, it's crazy, right? We do a lot. Pretty busy. want to get a little color in here. That's nice. Just a little pop. Oh, and up in there. Now, see, that's just nice. Nice. Okay, I should start getting the sky in here because I'm procrastinating on doing it again because I know it's going to look good and it's going to be fun to do. I'm breaking that up a little bit too much. Okay. One thing I'm not super happy with this path, the shape of it. Oh, no, oh, I know. There we go. So you got, you know, it's identifying. What's up with that? What's bothering me about that particular thing? And then you got to kind of try to figure it out. That self-critiquing can be tricky, but it's so much better. Okay, now I'm ready to tackle the sky because maybe that was it. Maybe there was something that was bothering me down here. I wasn't quite ready to tackle it. Okay, so now sky. So I want to start down here by my trees, down here at the horizon.
So Marla, can you just talk a little bit about personal style and how, you know, if it doesn't look exactly like yours, that's okay. Like, you know, you're showing some techniques here. Some people are talking about wanting to kind of sort of mold their style to yours, but they don't necessarily have to do that.
Oh, they don't have to do that, and I not at all. You know, yeah. If you want to, okay. So how I feel about that is, you know, if you like usually you're drawn to an instructor whose stuff you like. That makes sense, right? You're not probably gonna be drawn to an instructor whose stuff you don't like. So your first inclination is really going to be to emulate that style, and I think, you know, that's one of the big ways we learn to paint, right? So, you know, that's cool, and that's it. That's kind of the way it goes, and totally understandable. Now, from there, what's really amazing about art is nobody makes a mark the same way I do. Nobody makes the mark the same way you do. I mean, you can come close, you can try, but it's just not going to be the same. Like, one of the things I do in my live workshops is everybody does this exercise, and we use the same composition. It's the variations from the variation series. And I walk around the room, and everybody's is different, even though it's the same thing. And so eventually, you might start out when you're working on the lessons, so say you're doing the monthly, and you might start out and it's looking a lot like my stuff. But over time, you're going to get your own vibe. You're going to, you know, the more you paint, you know, you're going to make marks, you're going to gravitate towards more stuff, you're going to gravitate towards certain materials. And so eventually that's the way it goes. And, you know, I did the same thing. And so I think don't be worried about that, I think. So just paint. Don't be worried about anything. Don't paint. Just paint. You know, for me, that was the key for me when I was an illustrator. When I got out of art center, out of school, there were so many great illustrators working, and if I would have been worried about, oh, I'm trying to do this person's style, or I'm doing that, and I'm worried about this, and I would have never painted, because it was just so overwhelming. And so I really just, the thing that's kept, that my true north has been to get better. Just get better, and just work on it. And I do work. I still work on getting better. How do I get better? How do I get better at oil painting? How do I get better at watercolor?
Could you talk really a little bit about some of the people when you were starting out that influenced your style directly?
Starting out with pastel
when
painting.
You were starting with pastel, are there any pastelists who really jump out, who really inspired you?
Well, of course, Richard McKinley is, one of the masters. I also, at the time was really like Bill Creevy's stuff, because it was so kind of inventive, is still inventive. But I also really allowed myself to look at a lot of master work. Like I am a big fan of guys like Rockwell Kent, and those kind of WPA kind of guys. And I always was as an illustrator, and like those guys. So I really let myself be influenced by a nice range of kinds of art, not just pastel work, so that all of that could kind of filter in to my work in some way, somehow. I think that it's really important. I also like, right now, I look at a lot of stuff. I look at, like, there's a guy named Stuart Shills, whose work I really love. It's kind of abstract. He's not a pastelist. So let yourself look at, pastelists and non-pastelists. It's all, to me, all painting is the same, where the principles of painting do not change. The main thing that I'm working here with is color and value. And yeah, there's mark making, and there's these materials that we're using that are sort of particular to what we're doing, but not wholly.
That's why in year 2 we have a master's focus.
Yeah.
And 2 of the you do a Degas.
Yeah.
And a Le Sidonier.
Le Sidonier.
And they have drastically different styles.
Yeah, very, very different. And so Le Sidonier did these amazing, evocative sort of nightscapes, nocturnes, and oh man, I wasn't really familiar with his work until pretty recently, and I just absolutely love his stuff. And John Henry Twatchman does these amazing, Twatchman he's not around anymore, these amazing winter scenes, really super, super high key, lots and lots of stuff that was really high key, and again, so amazing. So this is coming together nice. And see this foliage, just putting that little wash down ahead of time I'm just knitting. All I'm doing is just coming along here now and getting a little bit of sky and really light. I haven't pressed very hard at all. And I can just come in here like so, little dots and dashes. And it has a nice airy feel to it, not heavy. And I'm not trying to paint this exactly. I'm just trying to paint it, get the flavor of it. That's it. I'm not even trying to, I might want to put these grasses in, but maybe. I haven't quite decided. Maybe some here. Style is a funny thing. I think that really the idea with style is just to paint, and then style is an outgrowth. Style is embedded in this outgrowth of painting. I'm laughing, and you guys probably can't hear it, but the dogs in my neighborhood, they just go nuts when there's a siren, when there's a... They're really loud.
So we have one question about the spelling on some of those names.
Yeah.
So Henri Lecidner, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's Henrilesidner. Mouthful.
Okay, yeah, it is.
And then of course, Henry Twatchman is Twachtman.
Yeah, Twatchman. Just that's kind of more like what it sounds like. Yeah.
A little tricky.
A little tricky. Okay, this is turning out pretty. Okay. So yeah, I'll put this up on Daily Paintworks. I got an email from someone that bought one of the pieces from the live stream demo, and I've shipped it out to her days and days ago, and she's like, didn't get it. I haven't received it, and I'm like, oh no. And sure enough, I went on and checked the tracking, and it hadn't been delivered. So I think things are a little wonky right now. So hopefully it gets to her really soon. So now see that I'm pressing into this instead of drawing a line like that. I'm pressing down with the stick and building the branches like that. That way they get a more naturalistic feel, kind of a broken line. Oh, I got to fill that in. I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to get my gradation all. Good. I like this Terry Ludwig. It's a little hard, this particular one, and I kind of like it. It's got a little graininess to it. I enjoy that. Just a little finger blending, not much. Just marry this gradation in a little bit. Give it a little sense of air. Yeah.
Oh,
question?
Yeah, there's a couple coming in.
Yep.
Just another thank you to everyone who donated during super chat, donated with the super chat. That
Oh
was
yeah,
really, really
yeah,
sweet.
that's really sweet. Thank you guys. It does, every little bit helps, and so we can divert some energy to doing these for the public. Really, it does help. Okay, there's a couple little things I want to do still.
Yeah, and just talk about sort of art history is a great thing to jump into. Somebody
Yeah,
mentioned that
yeah.
they really love Russian painters, Russian
Oh
artists.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of talent there.
Tons, yeah.
Repin is my favorite, but there's plenty of great ones.
Yeah, there are, and my friend and fellow painter Eric Jacobson, he really follows those guys a lot, and just seeing what it's good to ask your artist friends who they look at. Well, like you guys are asking me, but you can ask other folks who do you look at? Like, oh, the other artist that I just am, always have been totally over the moon is N.C. Wyeth. And when I taught last year in Lubbock, Texas, and for the Texas Tech, and they have a museum that has one of the biggest N.C. Wyeth collections in the States. And so I was there, and I got to go into that facility, and I got to spend a whole morning with, N.C. Wyeth, and I just, it was amazing. I just absolutely loved it. N.C. Wyeth, the strength of his compositions and the light and shadow, just that's what I love. Okay, so back in here, I just want to.
So here's a question about the advantages of, is there any advantage to having graininess to a pastel versus it being smooth?
Yeah, I like it. I like the graininess. It's I want to have both. You guys, I don't want just grainy. I don't want just smooth. The graininess makes a certain kind of mark. And yeah, so it's not about that. Oh, I like the grainy ones over the smooth ones. It's about putting the qualities of the different brands to work for you. And I'm getting to the point where I don't want to overwork this. But there's a couple things I want to do. Press a little harder up in here now. Get that quality of light going.
We have a comment about how your piece has so much more atmosphere than the photo, and it's inspiring to see how you transform your source photo into a powerful painting.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it probably does. I'm letting these edges. So the camera is, takes a picture in a different way, depending on, mostly when I'm doing it, because I'm not that good. But if you're skilled at it, you can make a photo look more like a painting. But I'm not so skilled, which is probably good for me, because if I did that, maybe I wouldn't paint so much. Yeah, I'm playing with the edges, I'm playing with it, I'm fiddling around.
Here's a really good question from Peggy. She asks, how do you know if you've overworked the piece?
Yeah, how do you know when you overwork the piece? You know, I try to only make enough marks to say what needs to be said and stop. Like this one is coming together nicely, and I feel like I've said a lot in here that pleases me. When you're struggling a little bit more with the piece, it's a little harder to know when to stop. Like I know that I don't need to get these grasses in here to make it work. I could, if I was going to do anything, it would be something like that. I'm not going to get all carried away. I'm not interested in detail, so I can stop myself when there's a sense of space, and it's got a particular kind of flavor that I was hoping to get. This has that.
So would you say knowing when, sort of avoiding overworking a piece, does that come from just a lot of experience?
Oh, it doesn't hurt to have,
a lot of mileage.
Yeah,
maybe?
a lot of mileage.
Know when to hold them and know when to
Yeah,
hold
it's definitely a thing, but I think that you also, again, you have to what is it? What was your intention when you started painting? What kind of thing were you after? And I think when you're first starting out painting, usually what you're after is, does it look like the thing? Am I good enough to just make it look like the reference photo? And when I was first starting doing art, you go, oh, it looks like, my people around me would say, oh, it looks, oh, that looks good. Marla knows how to draw. She can make it, it look like whatever she's drawing. But as you get more and more experience, you have different ideas about what it is that you're after. So, and then you just keep moving, right? So I think that when a piece has some of the quality of the thing that you're after, then you stop. You stop as soon as you can. Now I'm almost ready to stop. I think I want a little bit more on my pines over here. Just because I feel like this is pretty finished. That this feels, just in contrast to this, maybe just a bit like I ignored it. So I don't want that. That doesn't mean it needs to, I don't need to go crazy, but maybe just a little bit. See, like that. That's not bad at all. Maybe a little bit more interesting mix of color in here. So a couple different kinds of green. And I also had in mind that some of this would have some little bits of light hitting it, which I like. And that kind of works. And then little idea of some grass. And okay, there's stuff I could do back here in these mountains, but I think that if I were to sharpen up these mountains, I could put the snow on the mountains. I think what it would do is that, you know, I like this softness, and if I do that, it's going to interfere with that, and I don't want that. So I think I'll keep it simpler. Now bring that tree, this one is in front. That's kind of nice. Gives me one idea that I want to do, and then I think I'm going to call it good.
So at the end of the video, we'll put a mat on it, and we will also show you the sticks that we used.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Just
Oh boy.
that came in a few times.
I think yeah, I don't think I put too many back, so I think that
Cool.
will work. Yeah, good. All right. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh, I see one thing. That's kind of sticking out. It's a little much. Doesn't need to be. And this one too. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one turned out good. This yellow is a little hot. Doesn't really fit. Just simplifying. Okay, let's look at it with a mat. Guess what? I cut clean mats. I'll make my mom happy. Let's see, something like that. Yeah. I think it's a good one. Turned out nice. All right. All right, guys.
All right,
okay.
Now let's take a look at your
Ooh, I want sticks. Oh,
in here. Let me just move the
one
camera.
little thing. Got to fix that one little tangency because it really doesn't work. Okay, so monthly members, make sure you go online and check out your new content, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it. And
Let's take a look at those sticks first before
Okay.
you send off, and we'll switch to the other
Okay.
camera when you do your send off.
okay,
So here we have the sticks.
yeah, here's the greens, some greens.
Can you move that little piece of paper out of the way?
Oh yeah. And here's the blues. So these blues that I use to build the sky. I even use this periwinkle one. this is more what I used in the shadow. Oh, I guess I used that. This was what I used. So this was what I used in the sky. Greens. This nice bright red went in there, but real thin. This rust color, a couple of these orange rust colors. So in the darks, you know, there's nice range. I used more than one stick. So it really not that many sticks. A couple browns. So yeah. So that's a good look at what I used. So this was the snow right here. Oh, I guess I used this in the snow. So I used a blue, a pink, and a yellow all in the snow. I never went, so this piece doesn't have that white. I never went to the white. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. All right, guys. Yep. Thanks for watching today. So monthly members, make sure you go and check it out. It's really exciting. And those of you that aren't, please go to my website, paintinglessonswithmarla.com, and check out what I've got there. There's not just pastel lessons. There's watercolor sketching, and there's oil, and lots of content for you to check out. And again, thanks for watching. We'll do this again really soon. Okay, bye.